Alright, so I changed up the method of powering this from having a button out in the middle of the yard, which didn't have to be where it was. I just chose there because it was, you know, at a whim. I moved the chest over a little, and I put a pressure plate here so you can hit the pressure plate and just have the floor switch out right under you. And if pressure plates aren't really your thing, you can put a button there, just hit it. Here, and get on a chair. Ta-da! I actually kind of like the red floor better. And all I did for that was, hopefully, yeah. Can I get there from here? Kind of. The power is on top of this block, which means the, here, I don't want to break that, I'll break this one. Power's right here, the button is on this block, the pressure plate would be on that block, and then since the ground is going to be here, you need this to pull the power out of the block. And this just turns it into a short pulse, which comes over and powers all this. And you need it to be a short pulse because if it's the length of a button press, the mechanism gets a little bit jammed up. It doesn't quite work right, and you don't need anything beyond a short pulse anyway for operating the pistons, so you may as well just use the pulse. But yeah, it's not that hard to put together if you happen to have an interest in using one. You can find, this isn't the only way to construct something like this. It's called a monostable circuit. I just use this one because it's the first one I learned and it's simple to throw together. And then these, all you have to keep in mind is basically 3-fold delays. You don't have to have it designed this way, obviously, as you saw in the previous video from my other my testing one, the first one I built. I built this one first, and I used a delay like this. And I think originally I had tried making a compact version, and I was screwing around with ideas like this for the delay. But for this one, I just used a wide one because I was just designing it to make sure, or to see if the idea even worked, rather than going for efficiency right away. And this was the first thing I used as an application for it, which basically the same, but only with 2 pulses rather than 4 pulses there and 8 pulses in that house over there, over that way on the other side of the hill. But yeah, basically any way you can set up so that your first pulse will go into the circuit, and then you will have, I'm not actually sure if it has to be 3 full repeaters. You might be able to get away with less. I haven't tested it. I probably will at some point. But the idea is that your first pulse goes in, then you have a delayed pulse which goes into the circuit and feeds another delay, and then when that finishes, it goes into the circuit and feeds another delay which feeds into the circuit. And you have to use repeaters to make sure you don't feed back into the system, because if this line connected to that line, you'd end up with a forever repeating signal, which, if you want the block going around forever, is fine. Like here, I'll show you what I mean. This should function how I'm thinking it will. Yeah, it's just going to keep going because this comes out and it's just feeding right back into itself, and it's never going to stop until until I stop it. This was like that, right? Looks right. I don't know. Let's find out. Hello? You gonna... Why didn't... Okay. Now it's just messing with me. Yeah, there we go. Yep, and I haven't experimented with the timing. I think 2 full repeaters is too soon, it might be. But you might be able to get away with this one being at a lower setting. I'm not sure. I'll have to play with it someday. Probably not today. But sometime, certainly. Yeah. As for putting pressure plates and things in the middle of the room, I don't think that'll really work out because the second floor, for this room, the red wool is immediately below. Whoops. So you wouldn't be able to transmit the power downward. So it would have to be at the edge along the walls or something. Like if I put it along this wall somewhere with a pressure plate or along that wall, it would be fine. This wall has pistons over there and that wall has pistons under it, so those aren't really viable for powering. But yeah, that was certainly interesting that you could put pressure plates on the floor. I thought it would have broken. But learn new things every day, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back to red because I like the red better. Yay! See you guys later.